So we are here with Ben Rosett, which we just learned how to say his name about 2 minutes ago. Ben, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
So Ben is known for being in Strawberry Girls and his solo stuff. I guess we can get started with Strawberry Girls. How did you guys start with Strawberry Girls? How did that all get started?
I'm kind of like neighbors with Zach, or I was neighbors. I live in Oregon now, but we're from California. My bandmates are still in California, but Zach lives close by. We kind of knew who each other were like since middle school. So, and then I think we went to the same high school together for a little bit, but then he actually dropped out to tour with Dance Gavin Dance. And I actually didn't know that's what he was doing at the time. I just didn't see him anymore. And then I saw in the AP magazine that he was like touring with Dance Gavin Dance. I was like, oh, that's crazy. And he was like living like in Sacramento while he was doing that. But then I heard he was like back in town, and then we played some shows together. He was doing like acoustic stuff, and I had a local band at the time, and he opened for us. And then I think I just messaged him online one time, and I was just like, "Hey, do you want to jam?" And then we just started jamming. So
very cool. Has it always been like I want to do instrumental music over having like a singer? Like, oh, how did that get started?
I guess that wasn't like, I never knew that I was gonna be in an instrumental band or anything. I mean, I was in hardcore bands earlier on in like high school and stuff, and then after high school, I was like that local band called The Trees. It was like psychedelic rock kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I got into like the Fall of Troy. I mean, they're not instrumental, but I feel like they kind of, a lot of parts are instrumental, like that they do. It's like, but like Terra Melos, I don't know if you guys know about them, but my friend showed me Terra Melos in high school, and I was like, just like a crazy spark. I was just like, I got super into instrumental music after I listened to them. But the whole Strawberry Girls being instrumental, I think it was just because we both had like exited bands, like full bands and stuff, and then it was just me and Zach, and so it was just drums, and he played with like an octave pedal. He still does, but when we first started jamming, it was like all the riffs were very octavey and stuff, just so it was like a full sound. So yeah, I think it was just out of convenience and just like, hey, let's keep this super simple. Like, let's just make fun music that we want to listen to. And yeah, it was just kind of out of that, just like wanting to keep it simple and not have like throw a singer into the mix and then you have to deal with a singer.
Right. You don't have to deal with singer personalities. That's like the best of all of it.
Right.
Yeah, that's something that's almost more jarring about your guys' music, is that when there is a singer and like you have a feature or something, it's like almost more shocking than you realize. You're like, oh, I wasn't expecting like vocals on this track. So that's really cool.
Yeah, some of the older features, like I feel like we're different. Like now if we do a vocal feature like with Andreas or something, like the whole song is like a vocal song. Whereas like I think earlier on we would just have friends come in and sing on like one part, just because we thought it could use something like that on that part. So it was kind of more like surprising, like the older songs, like it's like a full instrumental song, and then it's like, oh, there's vocals, like, yeah.
So is that something like when you're writing, if you know you're gonna have a full feature, like does that change the writing process at all, or do you still just write it as an instrumental and then fit in the vocals afterwards?
I mean, it kind of changed over time, but because Zach jam together like a lot, like 2 to 3, 4 times a week when we lived super close. So we would just write stuff, and then later on after we recorded it, we were like, oh, this part would sound cool with vocals. But I think now, like, since Zach kind of just comes up with demos now and then sends them to me and Ian, and then we just check them out and see which ones we like. And then, you know, it's just like, oh, this song sounds like it could have vocals on it, so we'll just have that whole song be a feature. But yeah.
That's something I always like about... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's something I liked about Minnie Ripper, was like, I loved the vocal track, and then hearing it on the album without it, I was like, oh, I love this song even more because you hear just a little bit more. So it's cool to have both and, you know, just add something a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always curious how people kind of take that all in, just because, you know, we dropped Mini Ripper came out just as instrumental, and then to hear it like with vocals, I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. I don't know what people think about that, but it was just something we did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we both loved it when we did the review for it. So I guess it was worth doing then.
Do you prefer? I guess do you prefer the vocal version?
I don't know. The vocal version was the first one I heard.
Oh,
I always liked the little flair and stuff he added, like the and all the like crazy shit he added to it was really cool. But I actually prefer the instrumental better.
Yeah, I think Dylan and I are both big instrumental music guys. I think we did a whole month of instrumental music last year. And so I think we both kind of discovered a love for like just pure instrumental music. It's got a little bit different dynamic to it. So I think I always enjoy pure instrumentals.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, I mean, I love all kinds of music. Like I love instrumental music, but I also listen to music with vocals too. I guess it just has to be the right type of vocal and just sound good to me. Like everyone has their own taste. Everyone like, you know, some people like different styles of vocals.
Right. Well, that was always my thing with like modern metal stuff is I just couldn't get into like it was just they were trying to get deeper and deeper growls, and that's fine, but it was just something that I always loved like instrumentals, but it's just something about the vocals would always turn me off until I found the right bands. So yeah, it's you're right. It's down to taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I actually I discovered you guys because Dance Gavin Dance released all their albums like instrumentally, and I really liked it because I'm not always crazy about the vocals on their albums. And
yeah,
I found Strawberry Girls because as an album ended, Spotify like immediately recommended you guys, and I was like, oh shit, this sounds so cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I thought it was cool that they released like all the instrumental versions of their albums. I mean, it's just I think it's a good move, like just with streaming and stuff, like they'll probably get double the streams, you know, and like make more money, and then people get that option, like, you know, what do you want to listen to, vocals or instrumental? So
right.
Is it a vocal?
So what got you into music? Obviously you've been playing since high school, but where did it all begin for you?
I think I mean I played music at a young age just because my parents are both very musical. Like my mom's a singer and piano player, and my dad pretty much plays like every woodwind instrument, and he can play like some piano and bass and just he plays everything. He's crazy. But yeah, just kind of being around that, like I guess just growing up with music, also like growing up in church and stuff, seeing music every week. But I'd say it was when I was 10 years old, I was at summer camp, and this guy like showed me a few chords on acoustic guitar, and ever since then I was hooked. Like I think it was just the being able to write whatever I want, like come up with whatever I wanted, and like it was actually kind of cool. Like I took piano lessons early on, but it wasn't like cool, you know. It was just like learning. So like once I discovered guitar and just like learned some chords and stuff, I'm like, oh, I can like make up cool sounding stuff, and
you don't have to play hot cross buns anymore.
yeah, it just became like a creative outlet, and like I would just spend hours and hours in my room just like coming up with songs and stuff. Yeah, basically like just grew up skating and then playing guitar.
Oh yeah, man. So I don't know if this is true for you, but I am really into like Japanese jazz recently. I just think it has a different feel to it. And I feel like that sound kind of bleeds into your stuff a little bit. Is that true, first of all? But is that like an inspiration for you, like that Japanese jazz style?
I don't know if I mean, I probably have heard some Japanese jazz, maybe, but I should probably look into that and like check it out and see what it's all about. But I do. I mean, I really like this one artist. I don't know if you've heard of him, and I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but Ryuichi Sakamoto. Have you heard of that?
I've heard the name. My one of my buddies is a huge jazz fan, and he turned me on to him a little bit.
Yeah, he's like a composer. Like I discovered him because he did a soundtrack for that movie Babel with I think Brad Pitt. And there was this one song in that movie that I really liked, so I looked it up, and it was him. And he has a bunch of other cool stuff too, and it's all like very like Japanese sounding and stuff, but it's really good. So what makes like Japanese jazz like? What's the sound like?
For me, it's like it's just a little bit. It's different from like American jazz classical standards, like in a way where it just feels cleaner. I guess it still pushes the edge like a lot of jazz will, but it just has like a cleaner edge to it. Maybe it's just production value. I'm not really sure. But we did a band called Tokonoma that I really, really liked. I think that they're a 4-piece band out of Japan, and they just do some really cool. I think it's more accessible too than a lot of like your free form stuff that you'll find. I don't know. It's just like I said. There's an extra little bit of sheen to it, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll have to check that out. I mean, I am inspired by Japanese stuff, like just in general. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that comes out of Japan. I mean, I love like we did a hoodie, like that metal hoodie. It has like Japanese on it and stuff. Just like it just looks cool in fashion. But yeah, I was gonna say there's like some Japanese, or actually I don't know what you call it, but like actually I don't even know if they're Japanese. Tom GGG, that group.
I have not.
It might be like in the K-pop genre or something, but I know that's different. Or I guess there is J-pop too.
Yeah, I mean, I started a playlist called "I Want to Move to Japan." So any sort of like cool Japanese music I stumble across, I'll add it to that.
Yeah. There's also like Toe. You know Toe?
I don't know, but yeah, like there's a ton. I'm just scratching the surface. Like I think it started with I stumbled on a band called Ningen Isu. They've been going since the 70s, and they're do like old Black Sabbath style like hard rock, and they're so cool. I think I sent it to Dylan, and it's like an 8-minute long song that I sent to him. He's like, "What the fuck am I listening to?" But yeah, I'm just like really digging it. I know maybe I'm just projecting my love for that area of the world's music onto your stuff, but I don't know. It sounds similar.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the Pokemon influence.
Yeah, maybe.
We played with a Japanese math rock band called Trico, or some people call it or say Tricot because it looks like that, but it's actually Trico. But yeah, they're cool. Like, yeah.
To talk about Booster Pack, because that's an album we did last year that we both really liked. How deep rooted is the love for Pokemon? Because I went through most of the album not knowing, because I didn't grow up with Pokemon. My wife was like, "Oh, these are all Pokemon." I was like, "What?" So yeah. So where's the love from Pokemon come from?
I think it's just kind of, it was just a part of my childhood. Like in elementary school, like every year there was like a different phase. Like, you know, like early on, like kids would bring like marbles and stuff. You have like marble battles, and then there was like Pogs and yo-yos, and then eventually it was Pokemon cards, you know, and like we were all, you know, we had to like hide them in school, but like we would go in the bathrooms and like trade and stuff. Like it was like black market, like Pokemon. Elementary school.
Wait, so did they ban Pokemon cards at your school?
They just always like, yeah, like if kids were getting too distracted by stuff, they would start like, you know, banning stuff. But yeah. Yeah, it was just part of my childhood. I mean, and I wasn't super into it. Like, I mean, during that time, like I wanted to be like a pro skater and stuff, like when I was a kid. But I mean, it was just another fun thing that, you know, I remembered from my childhood. But I actually didn't even know how to play the real Pokemon card game until like last year. But it's kind of cool being.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Like as a kid, like no one knew how to play the actual card game and stuff. Like, but it's cool now being able to like actually understand the cards and like learn how to play them. Like, yeah, with strategy and stuff. But I don't know. It's just another fun game.
So yeah, while we're talking about booster pack, this isn't a question, but I just thought I wanted to tell you personally. There's a little breakdown in the middle of Espeon that was like a religious experience for me. I don't know if you listened to our episode about that, but I gushed about that little breakdown.
I don't know if you heard that.
There's a little drum fill that you play along with, and it sounds like you're slowing down each successive pass. I don't know. It was beautiful songwriting, man. Just wanted to throw that out there for you.
Yeah, you have to tell me like the time. What's the you know like what's the time stamp of it?
I'll mute myself real quick and I'll see if I could find it.
This is our Chris Farley moment. It was like, remember when you did that one thing that was awesome?
Yeah.
Go ahead, yeah, when it comes to the solo stuff, in terms of like creating that kind of music compared to Strawberry Girls, is that just something you do completely by yourself? Do you have people that help you with it, or how does that work when it comes to your solo stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all me. I mean, so guitar was like my first instrument. Then I started recording when I was like 13, 14. And then I started needing like drums and stuff. So I think my parents got me a drum set for Christmas one year. I was probably 14 or 15. And then I just started trying to record drums and stuff. And I had a little experience on drums before that because I would play in church and stuff. And I had rhythm, like I think just being around it with my parents, my family and stuff, like I knew like what rhythm was. So I never took a drum lesson or anything, but I kind of just picked it up, you know. Yeah.
Very cool. Did you find it, Kev?
I did. It's the 150 mark in Espeon.
Let me check it out really quick.
This is great podcasting.
That part right there.
I couldn't quite hear it, but yeah, it's right at the 150 mark. It kind of goes into like I said, like a little drum fill, and it plays. You kind of play along with it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't have much explanation for it because like a lot of the times like I just kind of follow the melodies that pop into my head. Like I don't know much theory or anything. Like I know a little bit of theory, but mainly it's just like my ear and what I hear in my head. Like I'll just get like a melody idea and I figure it out on guitar and then I just go with that. Like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I talk a lot about like, again, this is a trope that I hate, but like the notes you don't play kind of thing, or like using silence effectively. It was just, I don't know. I think I just really liked that, and anything that kind of feels like it's resisting movement but still moving forward. I don't know. Like I said, it was just really cool, and I thought I had the chance to tell you face to face. I figured I would.
That's cool. I'm glad that you appreciate.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of hip hop influence, I feel like, in your solo stuff. Do you make those beats yourself, and are you like into hip hop? Are you influenced by hip hop?
Yeah, I mean, I program I make all that stuff myself. You know, I've been using Pro Tools since probably 2009, however many years it is. But yeah, so I'm into all kinds of stuff. Like I've produced music for a lot of different kind of bands and artists and stuff. I've, you know, produced some rap. I've done like reggae, hardcore, indie, pop, like just kind of everything. So I try to listen to a wide variety of stuff just to know what's going on out there. Like, you know, I don't think it's good to pigeonhole yourself and only listen to one genre. Like there's so much cool stuff out there. Like, be open.
Yeah,
to all
that's
of
why
it.
I get so excited every week that you are on my release radar, whether it's you or Strawberry Girls or any of the projects you're a part of. Anytime your music pops up, it's something I was not expecting, but I really needed.
That's cool. Yeah, I'd say like with Strawberry Girls and my solo stuff, like we try to just blend everything that we like about music into our music. So, there's definitely hip hop influence. Zach listens to a ton of hip hop. He also produces beats and stuff too. Like we've even taken some of his beats and like turned them into like songs. Like Love Trip was like a beat that Zach made, and then I was like, oh, you should learn how to play that on guitar. And then we started jamming it and stuff. I think Mini Ripper might have been one of those too. But yeah, we blend a lot of stuff. I mean, I come from like hardcore. I mean, I got into like pop punk first, and then that led into like hardcore, and then like some metalcore and stuff. I've always loved just like heavy, brutal stuff. But then I also love like really beautiful music too, like American Football and Mike Kinsella's solo project, Owen, stuff like that. Just like really pretty stuff. So I try to blend all of it.
Yeah, we just finished metal, and last year we did new metal and went straight into instrumental, and it was so jarring to go from one to the others. But it is nice to have that wide variety because it's for different moods. You don't listen to hardcore music late at night when you're sitting around with your family. You listen to nice acoustic music. So there is a time and place for all of it, and it's cool that you guys have music for all different moods.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a bunch of different stuff in our catalog. Like, I mean, especially like we play Mini Ripper a lot live, and I feel like that song is a blend of a bunch of different stuff because like you can definitely hear like the R&B hip hop vibe, and then it almost goes into like some hardcore stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of different stuff in there.
Yeah, your recent single with last year, you guys did Catfight, and that's pretty much just a metal track.
Yeah, I was kind of like when we were doing that song, I was thinking of like Every Time I Die, that band. I love that band. They make a lot of cool music, but I mean, yeah, a lot. Also, like Norma Jean, Under Oath, The Chariot, bands like that. Like were definitely an influence. Yeah.
So I want to ask real quick because this is another band that Dylan and I have discovered recently, and you're touring with Thank You Scientist, correct? Coming up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How did you guys get hooked up with them? Because I am absolutely in love with Thank You Scientist. They're just kind of everything I needed at the time. So how did you guys get hooked up, and why did you guys skip Ohio? Because we can't go
now. So let's see. The first question, I don't really know. Like, I think it was just a thing where like our booking agent was like, "Hey, I have this offer for you guys," and we're like, "Oh, that's really cool. Like, yeah, let's do it." So I don't know. I know Zach knows one or maybe more of the members in that band, and he's like friends with them. I don't have a personal connection with anyone in that band yet, but we are touring together in a couple months, so we'll see. But yeah, and I don't know much about their catalog or anything. I honestly need to do my research, and like we'll probably like usually when we tour with bands, we start like listening to them in the van, and that's how we get familiar, and just hearing them play live and stuff. Sometimes it's totally different too. Like seeing a band live every night, you just kind of grow to like really appreciate and love their music versus just like hearing a record and either you like it or you don't. But like when you see people live, like playing music passionately and stuff, you kind of just like it. So
yeah, I feel like that's probably pretty rare nowadays too. I don't feel like a lot of people listen to a band for the first time live a whole lot anymore. It's kind of, if you go into a show, you know the band pretty much. So yeah, that's cool, man. It should be a fun tour. I think I don't know. I love their music.
Like, do they have like 6 or 7 members or something?
Yeah, they're pretty big. There's 2 horn players, a drummer, guitarist, bassist, and a lead singer, I think. So
I know there's a saxophonist, right?
Yes.
What's the other horn instrument? Is it
It might be trumpet. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, and I mean, I've heard a couple songs by them. It's like progressive rock / jazz, I'd say.
Yeah, that's pretty clean classification.
We spent a whole episode trying to describe it, and he just did it in 2 words. But yeah, I think the first song we heard from them was we did like a covers episode, and someone submitted us a Party All the Time remix that they, or a cover that they did, and it was like, holy shit.
That's sick.
After that,
So
we were hooked.
What album would you recommend by them? Like, what do you guys like from them?
Their latest EP was really, really good. It's like 20 minutes long for let me look up the name of it so I don't mess it up. But yeah, their last EP was, I think, great. It takes everything they had done up to that point and kind of refines it. Plus, It's their second recording with their new drummer, who I really love. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, four songs, 20 minutes.
Yep.
That's perfect. I love it's like very digestible, like EPs. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Plague Accommodations. It's a really, really great little EP.
Cool. Yeah, I'll check it out.
So it's been a few years, speaking of EPs and albums and all that, it's been a few years since you guys released an album through Strawberry Girls or through your solo stuff. Is that on purpose? Are you guys just cranking out music as soon as you're making it, or are you looking to make an album?
Yeah, I mean, we're always trying to do as much as we can. Sometimes life gets in the way a little bit. And the coronavirus thing just really slowed us down. I mean, we couldn't tour, so we were just working on music. We've been working on a new album. It's just kind of taking a little bit longer, but I don't want to rush it. I just want to feel good about it and drop it when it's ready. So it's kind of, we don't have like a set schedule. We're just kind of, everything's tracked. I'm just working on the mixing, and I also have like a ton of other stuff that I need to do too, plus a wife and kids. So it's like really hard to make progress on all these different things, but I'm working on it. Like I just was working on mixing another band's EP today, so I have to finish that, and then I'm going to try to mix another Strawberry Girls song before tour and stuff. So yeah.
Very cool.
I don't know if I answered the full question or not, but
no, you did. Yeah, it's always, I'm sure you get this comment a lot, like, when's the next album? Well, was there a new album? And there's so much to it, more than just a fan that like wants new music every year or every 2 years. So I'm always curious to hear why.
Our loose goal is to just have the full album done this year. But other than that, and our plan was we were just going to release every song as a single, just because it's kind of nice when the one song, like the single, gets attention and people listen to it and check it out. And like, when you drop a full album, there's a bunch of songs in there that no one ever listens to.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people do, but a lot of people don't. And like, songs towards the end of the album, like, will get a lot less streams and stuff. So it's kind of nice just dropping one single at a time. You get to appreciate that one production. So yeah.
Plus, it keeps people on you're on people's mind all the time when you come on the release radar, or you're on a specific playlist. That keeps people on the mind. And like for us, we check our release radar as soon as we wake up every Friday. So as soon as it comes up,
I love release.
We're religious.
Yeah.
Spotify definitely changed how we listen to music.
It's cool too, because like, I get more excited to listen through it, because like, I'll just put it on shuffle, like, and do something in the garage, and I end up hearing really cool stuff that I like. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I'm glad I listened to that, randomly. Like, so yeah, it definitely helps you discover stuff. But I feel like releasing singles does keep you a little more relevant versus like just dropping an album. People forget about it after a few months, like.
Right. So Dylan and I had a bit of an argument, not an argument, but like a discussion about like, I used to hate EPs because I want full albums, but I've kind of turned the corner on it where I feel like the album structure is almost kind of a little outdated, like with streaming and all that. Like, how do you feel about that? Would you rather release EPs, or you kind of just talked about it where releasing singles seems to kind of be the way a lot of people are doing stuff now? So, where do you kind of stand on that?
I mean, it's an interesting concept because like everything in life is just made up by people. So I mean, who came up with a 10-song album? You know, like why does it have to be 10 songs? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what dictated that or like forced that to happen, but I kind of like EPs just because they're shorter and like, especially if it's really good. If there's 4 really good songs that you just want to keep listening to, why not? You know, that's cool. Like versus like, you know, a long album that, you know, is hard to get through sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I want Strawberry Girls to drop an EP because I mean, we have our first EP, but like it kind of Italian Ghost, it kind of turned into a full album with like the new version and stuff. But I don't know. I think it would be cool to drop like a 4-song EP. There's just something special about a 4-song EP, I think, or like 3 or 4 songs. But
yeah, it's something a lot of my favorite bands have done. Like the Story So Far and the Rex. Like in between albums, it feels like albums always have like a signature, like this is this point in time, this is this point in time, and to have like a 4-song, like almost a spot, like this is where I was at in June of 2019. You know what I mean? It's always cool to have like a little snapshot of where someone was at that time.
Yeah, I've been kind of debating what to do with my solo stuff. I have a bunch of songs like that I'm working on right now, but I don't know if I should drop like an EP or just do a full album since I haven't done a full album in a while. Or just keep doing singles. I don't really know what to do. It's kind of just a guessing game. I'm like, oh, should I, you know, what should I do with this batch of songs? Like, how should I separate it and stuff? I don't know.
Do you know the answer of how many songs makes it an album versus an EP? Or is it kind of like what the meaning of life is and it's just obscure and no one really knows?
I don't know technically if those, like how those are defined, but I can tell you like what I think in my mind. Like, to me, an EP would be, I guess, anywhere from maybe even 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 songs. I mean, I guess 6 songs might technically be an EP too, but
right. And then what if it's 7 and it's only like 20 minutes? You know, like where does it end?
I don't really know. I mean, yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I think of like an EP as like 4 songs, and then an album like 8 to 10 songs, or even 8 to 15 songs, like, or if you're like a rapper, like 23 songs.
yeah, and 10 skits.
The Beatles White Album that we didn't cover when we did Beatle Month, it's like 40 songs.
Well, it's technically a double album, but it's yeah. I have my own unique thoughts on the White Album.
So when it comes to the Spirit Vision Records, how did you get started on all that? And you know, you're obviously a music producer, as you talked about, but Spirit Vision in general, because I know it's got multifaceted. You have like a recording studio, and you have a record. And I guess how did you get started with all that?
I'm kind of going with just the Spirit Vision Records name, like branding now. Just the Spirit Vision Studios, like. I did have a studio in California for 7 years with my bass player, Ian. We ran a studio together for a long time, doing like multimedia. Like he even did like photography and video, and I did some video, and then recording local bands and stuff. And just helping, I think we just had a passion to like help other artists grow and just offer recording for affordable prices. And it also, you know, helped us get better at producing and stuff too. But yeah, Ian and I had Spirit Vision Studios for a long time. And then I moved up here to Oregon. And now I'm just in my garage. Like, this is my garage. But so it's not really studios, like multiple rooms like before. Yeah. So I just kind of go with Spirit Vision Records. Or you could think of it as records. Yeah, But yeah, like I just, I guess I like helping other artists however I can, and it's not much. I'm not Rise Records. I'm not some huge record label or anything, but I think just giving credibility to other artists and like posting about them, like, hey, check out this super dope artist, like people, just offering credibility in that way, and offering like recording services as well and mixing. But yeah, it's nothing huge. It's just like doing everything. So it's pretty slow. It hasn't really grown super fast or anything, but I'm only working with a few artists right now, and yeah, I don't know. It's just another little side thing.
Yeah, that's cool to help out smaller and younger bands, because I'm sure there's so many bands that would have just, they don't know where to start, they don't know where to go, and if they go to the wrong place, they could either get tired of it and give up, or but to go to someone like you who is willing to invest time and help them out, that's probably huge for them.
Yeah, and I kind of, whenever I'm like working with another band or artist or something, I just tell them like it's just a stepping stone. Like hopefully I can just help you a little bit, and maybe another like real label will want to like actually pick you up or something. I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for me to work with like a big band or something, or have a big band on my label, but for a lot of newer bands who are like trying to get started and stuff, like yeah, definitely helps them out a little bit.
Yeah, it's super cool. I think you see that a little bit in the EDM world a little bit too. Like with Anjuna Beats, like Above and Beyond's label, they are constantly pushing like their smaller artists that they find and sign. So I think that's super cool. I don't know. I like when people take the time out to kind of push other artists, because it it helps the medium as a whole. So super cool, super cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the scene is. Like, there's a lot of bigger bands. I mean, I feel like Dance Gavin Dance has helped out a lot of bands under them, just that whole scene. Like, we all got credibility because of Dance Gavin Dance, I mean, Strawberry Girls would probably still be, doing okay, but because Zach was in Dance Gavin Dance, that really helped us with everything. Like, just getting on tours and, people wanting us to be a part of shows and stuff. And yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Have you guys toured with Dance Gavin Dance?
Yeah, we did their 10-year tour. When was it, like 2016, I think? I forget. But yeah, it was that tour was just all bands of like ex-members. So there was like a lot like Birds, Slaves, us, and then Dayshell was also on that tour, but I think they were just homies.
Yeah, there's more ex-members of Dance Gavin Dance than I think there are members currently. But when it comes to like music composing, are you kind of a control freak? I know you write, you drum, you guitar. Are you kind of a control freak when it comes to sound? Because I'm kind of a control freak when it comes to our podcasts. Like, I like being in control of everything. So I didn't know if you felt the same way about your music.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about compromise. I mean, that's why I like having my solo stuff, because I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Strawberry Girls, like, we have to bounce ideas off each other and compromise on parts. There's been times where, I thought I came up with a super cool beat. Zach didn't like it, and ended up having to change it or whatever. And that's just how it goes sometimes. There's parts that he's written that he's had to change too. So it's like, we both try to be respectful and just like open-minded, and we want all of us to be happy, so you got to compromise sometimes. But
yeah, my compromise with Bill was just to let him do it all. I just show up and talk every week.
Yeah, I mean, I probably am. I'd say I probably am a control freak. I mean, yeah, like if I hear something in my head, like I want it to try to sound like that, So yeah.
Yeah, when you get an idea in your head and you want to see it through, it's like, it'd be easier if I just do it. So I'll do it, And I didn't realize I was like that until we started doing the podcast. So it's like, oh, dang, I guess I am. So when I see, when you Google Strawberry Girls and you look at your Wikipedia and it's like, so-and-so does this and this, so and so does this and this, and then it's you, and it's like got like 12 things that it has on there. I was like, oh, he might be like me.
In Strawberry Girls, like we all do a lot. Like my bass player Ian, he like grew up playing classical piano, so he's very good at piano. He can play guitar and bass. He can't really play drums that well, but Zach, has a great ear too. I mean, a lot of times Zach just writes cool stuff, and I just try to support it. Like sometimes we don't even have to change anything really. Yeah, Zach's very talented too. He plays guitar, bass. He's amazing. Just his technical abilities, just with picking and like all that stuff is crazy. He's really good. Yeah, and then his
when it comes to sorry.
Go ahead.
That little delay really screws me up. I thought you were done, and then when it comes to Pretty Cute, I know you released a couple songs from it last year. Are you still looking to do more with that?
So unfortunately, that project kind of dissolved. Just yeah, we kind of just went our separate ways with that one. Like the music was really cool. Nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
It just wasn't working out. Sometimes that's how it goes, It's just life.
Yeah.
Like we were trying with that project for a solid like year, and then we lost like 2 bass players. That set us back a lot because we were trying to get ready to play shows and stuff. And that was just kind of born out of wanting to play local shows here in Oregon.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I mean, like the other guys were just busy with other stuff. It was just hard to get it off the ground. I don't know, like we still have like 3 other songs that we did record that aren't like finished yet. So I might eventually mix those and release them, but I'm not sure. But yeah, kind of sad because that project was really fun, and I really like the music. But
yeah, it was like a whole different visual, like a lot of pink, and the music video was really cool. Yeah, I thought it was a really cool idea.
We're trying to be just like super, I don't know, like girly and that like that girly aesthetic kind of thing. I don't know. We were called Pretty Cute.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, real guys wear pink.
Yeah, right.
So we are going to wrap up here in a few minutes. We just want to talk to you about what music are you listening to currently? Do you have any artists you want to shout out before we get off here?
Yeah, let me pull up my Spotify. But a lot of the times, to be honest, like I'm just checking my own mixes in the car. Like that's the main time I listen to music. Whenever I drive, I'm just like checking my mixes. So like some days I don't even listen to like other people's music. I'm only listening to like my mixes and stuff. But let's see. Oh, actually today I was like cleaning the kitchen and stuff, and I put on Floral. You know Floral?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite bands. Like, and it's cool that they're my friends too.
Oh, no way.
I love their. I freaking love their music. Like, it's so good. It's like the perfect blend of like melody, like catchy melodies, but like technical and interesting, and just like a lot of different influences. And it's simple, but it's like awesome.
Yeah.
What
about Standards?
Dude, yeah,
they're
similar to Floral. They were super fun to tour with. I want to tour with them again, but yeah, their music's awesome. Like Marcos is an insane guitar player, and their drummer Cam is amazing too. It was awesome watching them every night. Let me see. I was listening to Animals as Leaders' new album the other night.
Hell yeah, love Animals as Leaders.
Yeah, it's a lot. That album's a lot darker. Like, I really liked their previous album, Joy of Motion, because it was like less dark and more like melodic and I don't know, like brighter. But I don't know. The new album was kind of cool. It was like very dark and like sinister, like, but it was cool. Yeah, Matt's drumming is crazy. What else? So it's like when you get asked a question, you can't even answer it.
Yeah. No, you're good, man. You're good. I do this all the time. It's like we do a song of the show every week, and I'll come not prepared at all. So I'll just quick open up Spotify, like what was I listening to today?
I was listening to this band that I used to listen to back in the day, like when I was a teenager, called Sick of Change. They're like an old pop punk band. You guys probably haven't heard of them, right?
No.
Yeah.
But I love pop punk, so.
Have you heard of Rufio?
Yeah.
They're like a darker Rufio, kind of, but they're also a Christian band. They're just super good. Like the harmony, like they do these crazy, like angelic harmonies over like super fast pop punk drumming and stuff. Yeah, so I was listening to them because I'm doing my first pop punk song. I play drums on it. This guy that I actually used to listen to, I discovered his band back in the day on MySpace called Curbsquirrels, and I became friends with him on Facebook like a few years ago, and we've been talking and stuff. And he sent me the song that he wrote, and I ended up playing drums on it. And so we're gonna drop that like next month. But yeah, it's like my first like real pop punk song.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
are you releasing it at like under Curbsquirrel? What was it, Curbsquirrels? You said?
Well, his old band was Curbsquirrels. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it was funny. I was talking to him on the phone a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Where'd that name Curbsquirrels come from?" And he said that like he's from Ohio, and he said like back in the day when he used to skate and stuff, there would be like these like redneck guys would be like, "You curb squirrels." I don't know. Yeah, that's
but we both live in Southwest Ohio, so that means so much to hear that some redneck gave such a cool name for a band.
Is that like a real term or like?
I've never heard it, and I've hung out with skaters in high school. I've never heard it, so it's.
Well, you didn't have rednecks out the window yelling at you, so
that's true. That's true.
But that's awesome. Normally, I like how you release music because like your name's always attached to it. So your and Zach's both names are both attached to Strawberry Girls, so it shows up. So is that how the pop punk song is going to show up as well?
Yeah, so it's going to be under my name and just his name, which is Eric Tuffensam. He actually runs a studio. I think it's like outside Cincinnati. It's called Moonlight Studios. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just interviewed a band last week, and they've recorded there before.
Oh, cool. Yeah, actually, this guy Eric, he's produced for a lot of bands and stuff, and there's this huge band called Public. I guess he produced a few of their like hit singles or whatever. Like one of the songs has like, let me see, it's a lot of streams. It's called "Make You Mine" by Public. 379 million streams.
Holy cow!
Yeah, he like produced that song at in Moonlight Studios. Yeah, so we're dropping a pop punk song together next month, and it's super fun.
That's very exciting.
Thank you, man.
Well, Ben, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us for a little bit. We really appreciate it. Go check out Simon Vendetta Part 2, Strawberry Girls' most recent single, and be on the lookout for Ben's new pop punk song coming out this month.
Yeah, and we'll probably drop a new Strawberry Girls song next month too.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah, and if anyone lives outside of Ohio, go check out Strawberry Girls on tour with Thank You Scientist, or make the trip if you're from Ohio.
That's right.
Are you guys going to come to one of the shows?
We're going to try to. It's just I think the closest one is Michigan or Illinois.
Cool.
So we're going to make the effort.
Cool. Yeah. Hopefully I'll see you guys there.
Oh yeah, man.
All right, man. Thanks again.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys.